Hello and welcome to episode 137 Coca-Cola Boycott.
It's a crazy little thing, this thing called Lovdev. It's a crazy little thing, this thing called Lovdev. He's got the punchlines and he's got the groove. It's a crazy little thing, this thing called Lovdev.
Hello, you fine folk out there. It's me, the man with the cold. Still got this cold. It's still lingering onto me. It doesn't want to let go of me, mate. I don't know how to get rid of it. I've bought lemon sip. I bought lemon sip sachets. I bought the tablets. I've got the cheaper version from Home Bargains. And even that's not working. This doesn't want to go, mate. It's moved in. It's staying now. It's decided, I like this body. This body's all right. Apart from being a little bit overweight, probably. He still goes to the gym and he tries his best. But I'm not letting him go. Nah, mate, you're not going to the gym. I don't think so. I'm staying with you. Yeah, the cold has decided to stay with me. Unfortunately. I'll tell you what has stayed with me, and that is being nice. Yes, I'm a nice person, aren't I? I think so. Unless I'm having road rage on the motorway because somebody still wants to hog the middle lane when it's a 4-lane motorway. Move to the left. Even the motorway signs tell you, keep left unless overtaking. No, I'm not going to ignore that. I can't read English. Or I can't see that far. Get off the frigging motorway. I don't know why I said that, because I'm just annoyed with everything in the world. One thing I'm not annoyed with, being nice, as I was talking about. You know I'm a nice man. I don't know if anyone's heard of this website. It's called Hot UK Deals. So on Hot UK Deals, people share bargain stuff. And you know me, Asian, being bargains, we love it, mate. We love it. I saw, obviously, the LG thing, my telly, and I didn't get it because they let me down. So I shared it. And I said, if anybody wants an NHS discount code, those of you outside the UK, NHS Blue Light, it's a discount for people who work for armed forces, who work for the government, work in hospitals, so we all get discounts and, stuff like that. So I was like, yeah, I'll get free codes. I don't mind sharing that. I'm a nice man. I'm going to share it. So I said, if anybody wants one, let me know. And then this chap messaged me, right, inboxed me, and he said, have you got any more codes, mate? I want to get a telly. I said, yeah, of course, go on, here's a code. And then I didn't hear from him for a while. And then he come back to me and he said, I need another code. I want to buy another telly, but it's for a different company. And I said, all right then. I said, here's a link. Try and see if it'd work for you. If it doesn't work, get back to me. So he got back to me. He said, it doesn't work, mate. It's not working. I think I need your blue light thing. I said, I'll tell you what then. I said, I know you don't want to send me any money, but I'd buy it for you and then put your address on it. That's a big ask, though, isn't it? If you got a stranger to say, oh, give me some money and I'll buy it for you and I'll send it to your house, you'll be like, that's a lot of money, mate. I'm not sending you $5,000. Yeah, fair enough. So you know what I said to him? I said, I'll tell you what. Here's my login details. Take my login details, log yourself in, and then you can purchase whatever you want. And he got back to me and he said, you're such a nice man. Me and my missus want to do something for you. I said, I'll tell you what, if you want to do something for me, have a little listen to this podcast and then we'll take it from there. Or just follow me on Facebook. I'm a comedian, by the way. Hello. And he did. He followed me. He's now a listener. He's probably listening to this. I'm not going to name drop him, but I think he lives in London somewhere. And you know what he did? He sent me a gift card. I was like, mate, I don't want a gift card. Don't give me a gift card. He sent me a gift card, an Amazon gift card with a lot of money on it, man. Thought, this guy's got money, mate. He's just throwing it out the window. I haven't spent it. I haven't used it. So if you are listening to this, my friend, I haven't used the code because I don't want to take it. I want Amazon to email you back saying, the person you've sent this gift card to, they haven't claimed it, so we're sending you the money back. I don't need it, man. All I need is love. Do you know what I mean? All I need is you to give this podcast 5 stars, a little rating, get me in the top 10 charts, and I'll be well happy with that. I'll tell you what I'm going to do right now. I'm going to do an unpopular opinion. I haven't done one for a while, have I? Yeah, it's been a while since I've done one. So let's do one. This one has been posted by Glenn Coco23, and his unpopular opinion is... Unpopular opinion by Glenn Coco23. His question is, this relates to all comedians out there. It's comedian stand-up related. Glenn Coco23 says, if your version of being a comedian is interviewing people while you're on stage, you're not a comedian. Now, when he says interviewing, I'm assuming he means, like, when you ask an audience member, so what do you do? What job is that? How many kids you got? Are you proper for the job? No, you're in the wrong job because you lied to me. Thank you very much. I think he means that's more of an MC. MCs do that. I know another comedian, I'm not going to name drop him. Hashtag name and shame. If he listens to this, he knows who he is. And every other comedian knows hashtag name and shame. But he talks a lot to the audience. He's not interviewing them, though. He's trying to draw out the comedy within that person. That's what I believe. And he's great at doing it as well. I've seen him do it many, many times. When I'm on stage, I try not to interview too many people. I don't interview people. I mean, they're not there for a job, are they? So I just crack on. I do my jokes. If somebody says something, then I might go into it a little bit. But otherwise, I don't bother. Do you know what I mean? So I want to know what Glenn Coco23 has to say for himself. There is more to this. And as I said, more. He's put more and more I see clips or sludge content of people trying to be comedians and performing on stage. I cannot stress this enough when I say that it is a fantastic thing to do, and working on public speaking is a great thing to practice. I agree. However, if your version of comedy is talking to people who are off stage and then asking them more and more questions, which then you laugh at, and then the audience laughs at, you're not a comedian. You are just talking to somebody. Ooh. I went to Gabriel Iglesias' show, as well as Tom Segura. He's obviously in America. 2 professional comedians, and then I went to about 3 TikTokers' comedy show, and was very disappointed at most of their jokes. A lot of them were small jokes, which then led up to an interview with the audience and then asking questions. Does anybody here do this? How many people do this? That is not a joke. Yeah, but hang on, before I carry on reading. Sometimes a comedian has to say something to set up the joke. That's probably why they do that. It's like a skill, mate. Yeah. So if I was going to do taxis, I'd go, oh, is anyone here a cab driver? Oh, because I used to be one. And then boom, go into your material. I think that's why they do it. Anyway, he said, that is not a joke, in capitals. It can, however, I will admit, lead to a joke. But if you are going in hoping that somebody has an odd job that you can make quick, simple, bounceable jokes, you are not a comedian. I understand the comedy is a subjective thing and not one person could have the best humour and maybe their thing is talking to somebody off stage, but then you're not really a comedian. I mean, I'm sorry, but that's just my opinion. Fair enough, that is his opinion. I'm not going to argue with that. I think if you're a good MC and you can generate really good jokes from talking to someone, then you are still a comedian because you're performing on stage. But if you're just standing there and going, what do you do? Right. Oh, okay then. And then move on to the next person. What's your name? Oh, and who you with? So and so. Oh, you're punching, ain't you, mate? You know, if it's all that kind of stuff, that is not comedy either. I don't think that's comedy. I've seen a lot of MCs do that, right? Other MCs. Just talk. Oh, what do you do? Yeah, blah. Yeah, there's no joke in it. Okay, are you ready for your next act? No, mate. Nobody's ready for the next act. Well, they are because you're absolutely awful. Get off the stage and bring on the proper comedian. I mean, it's hard being MCing anyway. Generally speaking, as a comic myself, I've done a little bit of MCing on the side. It's a totally different ball game. But when I do it, I try and talk a little bit, but I do material and I try and drag people in. Try and feed off the audience, but not ask them, like, you know, what do you do and all that, because nobody cares really, do they? And then you always get the one person who wants to be the limelight of the whole audience. It's all about me. I mean, I had it the other night. I've put a couple of clips on the internet, and there's this woman, and she just kept chatting to me all the way through. So I couldn't even do my new material. I wanted to do new material, but it just ended up me emceeing with her. And I looked around, and I could see all the other audience members were well peed off. And the worst thing about it was she's a psychic. I found out that afterwards. I wish I knew, because I would have just done my psychic material. Or maybe she's already heard it. Way! He's got an edit to this, Glenn Coco. He's put an edit up now. It says, perhaps I should rephrase my point. Okay, mate, go on then. Is that if you're trying to be a comedian and the jokes and the laughter you get from the audience is the important part of your routine, that means that to an extent, the person on the stage can be swapped out for someone else. Your routine should have some kind of monologue and a punchline, not working off someone else's life experience unless you were there as well. Okay, you got a point there. Yeah, I agree with you. Your routine should have a monologue and obviously punchlines in it, and not just getting the laughter out of someone who's been in a very crisis moment, shall we say, or an embarrassing moment. Unless, yep, like you said, unless you can relate to it, then that's material. But if you're just there and taking the mickey out of them, then that's not really comedy either. I agree, Glenn Coco. It's a popular opinion. I don't think you're the only one that thinks of that. I'm going to read a couple of other comments. Somebody called Blind Octopus has put down, crowd work is stand-up comedy. It's not the only kind, but it certainly is. I agree with you on this thought. If you're trying to do crowd work and you really only have a couple of paths to go down, so you have to hope someone in the crowd answers the way you want, or else you're screwed. I mean, that's just someone who's bad at crowd work. But a person who can be funny pretty much no matter how the crowd reacts, yeah, that's a comedian. Crowd work requires good improv skills. Absolutely, 100% agree. And Jeff Akuri, I don't know who that is, but I will look him up, is quite good at this. Lovely jubbly. Thank you very much, Blind Octopus. That was today's unpopular opinion. Talking about comedy, actually, I am supporting a comedian who's from Birmingham, and she's a TV star. She's been on the comedy scene for a long time. She's well respected. She's a very, very, very close friend of mine. She's one of the loveliest people I know in this game. And you know when you meet someone and you can just have a laugh, like not in like comedy wise, you can just have a laugh in general life. You can have a good chat. You get on, you click, you know what I mean? She's one of these people. I'm talking about the famous Josephine Enright. She is a fabulous person, one of my favourites. I'm sure I've mentioned her many, many times on my podcast. She has kindly asked me to support her on her tour show. Man, wow, boom, made it. I was gladly and happily to do that, right? I mean, I'm doing 2 dates at the moment. I've got one in a little place called Stourbridge, which just is outside of Birmingham. It's a little town. And then, obviously, we are going to play in my hometown. Yay! Birmingham. Birmingham. We'll be playing in the B21 postcode area, which is Hockley. And I used to grow up near Hockley. I grew up around that area. So it's nice to be back in Hockley. I will be supporting her. Yeah, so basically I just wanted to mention that I'm supporting her. I'm doing loads of gigs this weekend. I am jam-packed with gigs. So this is why I wanted to get this podcast out of the way. Obviously, you're listening to this, and I've already done all those gigs, but I've got way more. I'll tell you one thing I've noticed with the comedy scene. I don't know what it's like for everyone else outside of the UK, but in the UK itself, United Kingdom, I've had like 3 or 4 cancellations already in the space of 1 week. I've had 4 cancellations, and I feel like it's not just me that it's happening to, obviously, because there's other comedians on the bill, and they've also been cancelled for the right reasons, not for like, being offensive on stage like I normally am. But yeah, that's how it is at the moment, unfortunately. I don't know why. I don't know whether there's like, I still feel like the UK has not progressed in financially in the stock market. I mean, I don't know the right words, but I think you people know what I'm on about. We're still in recession, I think. Like people can't afford stuff, and then they can't go out. They can't. I feel like we need to do a cheap comedy night. Maybe that would work for comedy promoters. Obviously, acts want to be paid, but I'll happily do a free comedy night for people who can't afford to go out. Really, generally can't, but they just need a laugh. And we all know comedy is obviously the best thing in life, as well as music and maybe movies. But yeah, comedy is the best thing, and I think we just need to share a bit of that love. I don't know. Do you reckon? I think so. Let's move on with the podcast. I haven't done this one for a while. It's time for...
Truth, am I the a-hole? Tell me the truth, am I the a-hole?
Tell me the truth, am I the a-hole? A-hole question today has been put up by Striking Current 2180. Obviously, from the famous Reddit forum that I absolutely love to bits. I don't need to keep telling you that. This is what makes my podcast. It does. Anyway, today's Striking Current 2180 question is, am I the a-hole for telling my wife she's beep wrong and that my mom is right? You can fill in the beep. You know what that word is. Is his wife wrong and is his mom right? Now, mother-in-law and daughter-in-law doesn't really get on, does it? Not in the Asian community, not in the South Asian community, anyway. Luckily for me, my missus gets on with my mom. They rarely ever fight. My mom is such a lovely person. She generally is. If you met my mom, you would fall in love with her because she's just a sweet lady. Do you know what I mean? She's got no harm in her body. She's a lovely soul. My missus, even my missus, when my missus is having one, when I mean having one, you know what women are like. My mom just stays quiet. She just takes it in. She don't say nothing back. But I want to know why his wife is beep wrong. Why is his wife beep wrong? Let's have a look. He says, I'm 35-year-old male. And I've been married to my wife. She's 32. Happy birthday, Bab. For 5 years, we've been struggling financially for the past few months. I have lost my job about 3 months ago. I know someone who's going through this right now. Anyway, and while I've found my part-time work, it doesn't pay nearly as much as before. We've had to cut back on a lot of things, but it feels like no matter what we do, we're still living paycheck to paycheck and even pulling from our savings. You see, this is what I mean when I was talking about people can't afford to go out for comedy, because this is literally what's happening. People are losing work and they're struggling and they can't find nothing, and they have to do whatever they can to get their money. So let's find out the backstory of this story. Recently, my mum, who's 65, happy birthday to your mother, she came over to visit and she noticed how stressed I was about the money situation. She offered some advice on how we could save money. Things like cutting down on takeout, meals, prepping food to avoid buying groceries, multiple times a week and switching to cheaper brands. Nothing wrong with that. Your mum's right. Your mum's like me, I think. Money saving expert. My mum has always been frugal, especially when she has raising me and my siblings on a tight budget. That's what all our old school mums are like, mate. I thought it made sense, especially since we're really trying to save wherever we can. I asked her if she's willing to go through our spending and show where we could cut down. Ooh. His wife agreed to this. Okay, she's agreed. So if the story is she's come back saying your mum's a so and so, she's taking over our life. She made a whole spreadsheet about our spending, and we are spending way too much on fun stuff. We don't need Starbucks every day, and so on. Do you guys have Starbucks every day? Just do what I do. I go to Costco, I buy my coffee in a jar, and I buy I've got a filter thing, and I just make my own coffee. And you know what? It's a banging coffee, mate. Colombian coffee. I'm sure you can get it in the US or wherever you are. I don't even know where you are, but I'm sure you can get it anyway. Look at me listening. Look at me trying to save you money as well. Anyway, it says, it also became apparent that most of the fun spending was my wife's. There we go. We found the culprit. That's why. That's hilarious. It's your wife who's spending all the money, mate. To be honest, my wife didn't take the breakdown well. And started arguing with my mum that her spreadsheet was wrong. That's funny, mate. She said that my mum's way of doing things is outdated. I knew she was going to say that. And doesn't work for us. You know what it is? She can't face the truth. She can't. She doesn't want to give up buying organic produce. Oh, she's one of them, is she? And she likes having variety in what we eat each week. I try to explain that we need to make some sacrifices. Obviously you do. Yeah, if you want to get out of a financial hole, which is what you just said. But she kept insisting that things weren't as bad as I was making them out to be, and that we just needed to ride it out. Mate, if you've got to save money where you can, you're going to have to make sacrifices. That's what I did with my expenditure. My mum left at this point and we were still arguing, and she told me she can't give up her takeout. She also went on about my mum being wrong. That's when I lost my patience and said, "You're a beep wrong. My mum is right. She managed to raise 3 kids on 1 income, and we can't even cut back on groceries for a few months." My wife got really upset, saying that I was being a huge jerk for whining with my mum, and that my mum is outdated. I think, before I carry on reading, mate, I think your mum is giving proper advice. I know you've had like 1 million replies to this post already, but whether you listen to this or not, I think you should do some cutbacks, and just ignore your wife and just do it. Maybe put an expenditure on a credit card. And then once you settle down on your feet, then you can go back to spending the way you can. But if you go to comedy nights, keep going to that because we need the money. She's barely spoken to me since, and now I'm wondering if I went too far. Nah, you didn't go too far. You've asked your mum for help, and that's what she said. And I don't know whether her mum is still alive, but if she is, or any of her elders are around, and you ask them the same thing, they're gonna say like, yeah, cut back on this, cut back on that. You have to make sacrifices, mate. Do you know what I mean? Like your bills. I don't know how it works wherever you are, but in the UK, you could be in the UK and you already know this. Compare your energy prices, change your network if your network's finished. Don't get a new phone, just go SIM only, it's cheaper and all that. Yeah. Or speak to me, I'm on Hot UK deals. And you can send me a voucher as well. So, I'm going to carry on cracking reading this and we'll finish it off. But the way I see it, we need to be realistic about our situation. And my mum's advice could actually help us get us back on track. But that's basically what I just said. I think your mum is right. I'm just going to end it there. Your mum's right, mate. Don't worry about your missus. She'll get over it. She just can't. I think what it is, I'm not just saying women in general, but we all do it. We don't want to make sacrifices, but sometimes you have to. And I don't know if you've got children. You got to think about them first. If you do have children, if you don't, that doesn't really matter. But good luck. I hope you sort yourselves out and get your missus to listen to this podcast. All right. I think we should do not that, but I think we should do a weird news story. I can't believe we've come to the end of the podcast already. I've had a lot of fun on this. I haven't laughed as much. Maybe because I've still got, obviously, my cold in it. Yeah. And I've got to go to Manchester tonight to make some students laugh, I think. So let's crack on and do a weird news story. Ooh, let's see what today's weird news story is. Today's weird news story, I think it comes from South America. I could be wrong. Anyway, it's to do with a very famous drink called Coca-Cola. Whether this is real or not, I don't even know. But it's from a website. And today's weird news story is Christians call for Coca-Cola boycott over a viral video claiming custom can machine won't write Jesus. In the video, it appears the words Allah, Buddha, and Satan are both allowed. There's Christians out there fuming because they can't have a can that says Jesus on it. Can you have Santa Claus on it, though? There's a viral video showing a man's attempt to personalize. The viral video showing a man's attempt to personalize a can of Coca-Cola with the phrase, Jesus loves you, has led some Christians to call for a boycott of the beverage company. Brrr, Coca-Cola, you're against the Christians. A Texas man, Antwony Hill. Shout out to Antwony Hill. He was visiting the Coca-Cola store over the weekend using a machine that allows customers to customize their canned soda. He was able to write the words Allah, Buddha, Satan, but received an error message when writing Jesus. It's not what Jesus would have wanted anyway, mate. Hill filmed the incident and posted the video to his Facebook account, where it is sparking outrage among many Christians, some of whom are calling for a boycott of Coca-Cola products. In the recording, Hill types in phrases while filming the machine. You can put Allah loves you, or you can even put, let me see, Buddha loves you, he says. But you cannot even type in the word Jesus. An error message appears when he presses the final S in Jesus. Sadly, we cannot automatically allow this text on the can. It reads. The machine offers the option of asking a store representative for assistance with a button for store override. Hill presses the back button and types in Satan loves you, which is allowed. He attempts to write Jesus one more time and he gets an error message. Right, baby Jesus, that might work. The video has amassed nearly 600k plays on Facebook and spread to other social media platforms, including X, where hashtag boycott Coca-Cola and boycott Coke are trending. Bud Light Coca-Cola and Go Woke, Go Broke are among the frequently posted phrases under the hashtag. One tweet reads, apparently Coca-Cola doesn't support its Christian customers. You're allowed to put any name on your can except Jesus. This alone should be a reason to boycott Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola has not commented on the matter. They don't need to, man. They got a reason. like I said, Jesus works in mysterious ways. Maybe he doesn't want to be on the back of a can of Coke. He doesn't want his name on there, man. Maybe misspell it so it's like a UK car number plate. The illegal ones where people don't space it properly. Just do it like that. You could have J35U5, and that will spell Jesus. There you go. Solve the puzzle for you, Christian folks. Anyway, that was today's podcast. I hope you enjoyed it, because I frigging did. Here we go. This is the end of the podcast. I've just got to find the little jingle that you play at the end. Where is that little jingle? I don't even know which one. I'm going to go with this one then. Here it is. See you later.
He's got the punchlines and he's got the groove. It's a crazy little thing, this thing called Lovdev.